Hello everybody, good afternoon. Welcome to the Hindu studio. We are here to debate on the RK Nagar bypolls. The results are just trickling in. Joining me in this discussion is the Vidudalai Chirthakkal Katchi leader Thol Thirumavalavan. Welcome sir to our studio. And Associate Editor Mr. T. Ramakrishnan. So my first question will be to Mr. Thirumavalavan. The DMK, you basically backed the DMK in those elections. A whole lot of parties backed the DMK, and the results show that they are in third position, and possibly the DMK candidate could even lose his deposit. How do you see this election? What contributed to TTV Dinakaran's massive leads that he has managed to establish?
Actually, it is the expected one. When I was in the campaign in the constituency, I noticed the real position and real condition of the DMK candidate. The DMK cadres and volunteers were not interested to do the electoral works, election campaign. I asked them, why you are not interested in this? They said, we don't bother about this election, we will win. That is the answer. But I said, you don't underestimate Mr. TTV Dinakaran. All downtrodden people have sympathized on TTV Dinakaran because of the tortures given by ruling parties AIDMK and BJP. So the people, working class people, they are all downtrodden people, have some sympathies on TTV Dinakaran. So I noticed that TTV Dinakaran will win the election. And I informed this fact to the DMK leader also. So this is expected one, but I didn't expect that the DMK will go in third position. This is unexpected one. I really very sad.
So you expected the DMK to be number 2?
Yeah, I expected they will be number 2.
So the complacency is one major factor that did the DMK because they were overconfident of a victory?
No, I thought that they didn't bother about this election because this is competition between two factions of AIDMK, between TTV Dinakaran and Edappadi Palanichami. So the DMK maybe want to settle the issues between the factions of AIDMK. They are believing with TTV Dinakaran. They have some beliefs. They have some underground understanding with the TTV Dinakaran. So they didn't bother about this election, so they neglected.
Right. So Ramakrishnan, what do you think would be the impact of these results that we are seeing right now where TTV Dinakaran has established a very massive lead?
Yes. That is, immediately I don't foresee any churning within the ADMK because there are some cases also against Dinakaran. So once Mr. Dinakaran is able to come out of these cases, legal hurdles successfully, then the churning may take place. Even otherwise also there may be some informal consultations may be going on, and because I don't think Mr. Dinakaran has got any objections with the most of the people on the other side. Maybe one or two individuals he may not like to handle or to have them. But I think already Mr. Pugarendi, one of the spokespersons of Dinakaran camp, has made an appeal to the workers, members of the other side of the official ADMK to come out to this side. So this churning may take place, may not be immediately within a matter of 1 or 2 weeks, but once Mr. Dinakaran is able to come out of the legal hurdles, because the people are also, I mean the MLAs, would like to wait till that thing happens.
Okay. Mr. Thirumavalavan, you were one of the first leaders to actually call on Sashikala soon after Jayalalitha's death. At that time, Sashikala was highly unpopular. The people really hated her. That's the impression that we generally had, going by the comments that we got on social media as well as on other forums. What do you think has caused this entire change? From a position of being a hated figure, today her nephew was able to campaign in RK Nagar using her photo, which they did not do in the March-April by-elections that were rescinded by the Election Commission. So what do you think has brought about this massive change?
Only because of the activities and the attitude of BJP. BJP wants to suppress and subside the emergence of Sasikala and T.T. Vidyanagaran in AIDMK and in Tamil Nadu. So this is the first turning point in our Tamil Nadu politics. So the BJP, really I can say this is the defeat of BJP strategy. They wanted to promote Mr. Edapadi Palaniswamy and O. Pannirselvam. They can handle them easily, but they don't want to support T.T. Vidyanagaran and Sasikala because they are standing their own legs. So they wanted to suppress and subside the emergence of Sasikala. This is the main factor to turn out the people on Sasikala's side. They got some sympathies. She is in the jail. And T.T. Vidyanagaran also got in jail and released. And many tortures given by BJP government and Edapadi government. So people have some sympathies on the group, the Sasikala team. So this is the defeat of BJP and AIDMK Edapadi faction.
Ramakrishnan, would you agree with this view? Because one of the complaints that we have got is that money played a very crucial factor in this by-election. But Mr. Thirumavalavan says that in a constituency very local, where local issues should dominate. He says that actually that they would have thought of national issues of BJP coming and dominating in Tamil Nadu, and then the AIDMK acting as a B group of the BJP here. Do you think that those kind of national factors would have been a crucial issue, or the money had a very important role to play as being alleged?
Historically speaking, money has been a factor in Tamil Nadu 1951-52. So Hindu had written reports even then. So this money is not as far as I am concerned, money as a factor has always played a role in the elections in Tamil Nadu and elsewhere also. So it is not unique or peculiar to Tamil Nadu. That's my first point. Second point is, let me respond to your query to Mr. Thirumavalavan with regard to Sasikala factor. Even though Mr. Dinakaran this time featured the image of Sasikala in his campaign material, he did not highlight her role very much. In fact, I was there with 3 days, and he was virtually silent on Sasikala. So, of course, I think he didn't want to commit, in course, the mistake that he did in March or April. At that time, he virtually ignored Sasikala. But this time, he did not do. But again, he did not play up that factor. So there is, you may be knowing still the people have got very adverse perception of Sasikala. I think Dinakaran is a very intelligent person, so he must be knowing that factor also. But as far as your query to me with regard to the issues that would have played a role or that would have played a decisive role in this election, is that I think who is going to be the leader of the AIDMK? Because I was there when Mr. OPS and Mr. EPS launched their campaign. It was very lackadaisical. There was no, what should I say, a connect between the leaders and the cadres. So they were trying to sort of create a climate wherein which was seen when Jayalalitha used to campaign. But in reality, there was no enthusiasm among cadres. But whereas when Mr. Dinakaran, wherever he went, he was able to draw a very good response from the crowd. Of course, some people were saying it was all choreographed and everything well managed. But the thing is that he is able to draw some traction. So, and then as far as the issues are concerned, I don't think this national issues or local issues, they rise some issues. For example, dwelling, there is housing. Housing has been a major problem in that area. But I don't think the candidates, neither the candidates nor the people, were very much concerned about the real issues. And then the main issue that was that the people saw in this election was that who would be the leader, real leader of the AIDMK, and I think that's how the people also voted. Only for that, but it is to answer that question. I think they have voted that line.
Do you think that the results of this election is an endorsement of the factor that Dinakaran has been legitimized in his claim to unite Jayalalitha's legacy?
Certainly. This is the competition between them, who is the legal hire of the ADMK or Jayalalitha Madam.
The political
The political hire. So this is proved that Dinakaran only the political hire of Jayalalitha. So they voted them. You can say, historically speaking, this constituency meant for ADMK from the long run. You can see only 1 or 2 times DMK won the election. In this election, Mr. M.K. Stalin did campaign against Edapadi wing only, against Edapadi team only. They didn't tell a single word against T.T. Dinakaran. So DMK also cornered Edapadi, T.T. Dinakaran cornered Edapadi, and all other factions working against BJP and ADMK Edapadi wing. We also supported DMK candidate only because of against BJP and ruling ADMK wing, the team. So we won the election actually. The BJP and the Edapadi team defeated, so our motto was fulfilled. So the candidature is the very important factor. Mr. Madhusudanan, old person, the exposed person, so he didn't have any attraction from the mass. And Mr. Madhusudanan was not a popular candidate. Is not a popular candidate. So T.T. Dinakaran is only the star value candidate. So candidature also is very important factor in the election. Second one, DMK may have some underground understanding, but they didn't expose in openly. So only cornered by, only target is ADMK, Madhusudanan. Third one, the BJP have given many torture to T.T. Dinakaran, so they have got some sympathies in the public. Fourth, only money factor. I can say only this is the fourth factor. I cannot say this is the first factor, because AIDMK ruling party also has given money to the voters. We can prove. We did read in all medias, we have seen. So they have given 6,000 for each voters. He has given 10,000 for each voters. These are the talks of the town. So money factors, not only for Dinakaran, they also have their own vote bank for through the money. So money factor is fourth one. Now I want to say that this is very danger to our democracy. We should not appreciate. We can't appreciate. I wish Mr. Dinakaran for his success, but I can't support this kind of election, this kind of culture against the democracy. So the people and all democratic forces will come forward to stop this kind of culture in our country.
But you have been saying that the people voted against the BJP's tactics here.
Yeah.
Then how come the ADMK secured the second position? Is it because of the two-leaf symbol that they managed to get?
So the money factor is so worked out. They have given money to the people. So they divided their votes. Actually, this is the constituency of AIDMK. They divided their vote bank and public votes. So DMK didn't give any pie to any voters. Even a single pie they didn't give. I noticed that. Even the cadres also have no money to work. So this was the position in the constituency. So competition between Edapadi wing and T.T. Dinakaran wing, they have spent themselves. They also spent more than crores together. They also spent crores together. So competition between ADMK two factions, not with DMK and ADMK, not with DMK or T.T. Dinakaran. So in between ADMK two factions, they won. The T.T. Dinakaran won the election. So they spent a lot of money, more than 100 crores.
Now, Ramakrishnan, Dinakaran contested it all alone on his own individual strength, and the ADMK also largely on the basis of its individual strength. Whereas the DMK had the support of an array of parties starting from VCK, the left parties, CPM giving outside support to Congress, and yet they have come up with a very dismal performance. Do you think this reflects on the leadership of the party's working president, Mr. M.K. Stalin?
I think in a way, yes. But there is one theory that is doing rounds is there is a tactical voting. Mr. Thirumavalavan also referred to sort of an informal alliance between Mr. Dinakaran and the DMK camp. If you look at the figures, the votes polled, Dinakaran has got about 52% as of now. And then Madhusudanan has got about 26%. And Marudhu Ganesh got about 16 or 17%. If you go through the empirical data for the last 40 years, RK Nagar, I take ADMK's vote share as around 50 to 55. And then DMK is 35. So this, if you look at, and then so if you add the vote share, the figures of votes polled in the sense in terms of percentage, of the 52 plus 26, 78. So certainly the ADMK as an entity, I mean the collective entity, it has got about some nearly 20 percentage points higher than what it used to get. So whereas the DMK polled in fact from 35 to it went down to 17 or 18. So this 17 percentage points plus you have the support from other parties like Congress, VCK, CPI, CPM, MDMK. Even if you put all together, at least they must be getting 35 plus 5. So 40% votes they should have got. But whereas they got about 17%. So where whether I suspect sometimes whether the hardcore DMK people voted for Dinakaran. Otherwise, this kind of sharp fall for DMK would not have happened. Because normally the DMK people are considered to be the early goers to the polling booths, and they would cast their votes whether it rains or shines. So this such a sharp fall in the vote base of DMK is something that gives room for suspicion, and it gives basis for this tactical voting on the part of the DMK. Of course, on the face of it, yes, the performance of the DMK should be a matter of concern for the DMK, and it's certainly a reflection. And because even during some of the opinion polls or otherwise also, the DMK did not figure at all. DMK did not figure. It was all considered a contest between Mr. Madhusudanan and Mr. Dinakaran, whereas DMK was nowhere in the picture, despite being supported by so many parties. So yes, it should be a matter of concern for Stalin, and it is a reflection on the leadership of Mr. Stalin. But this theory of tactical voting, I think that might explain the reasons for. So they still some of the DMK people might say, no, this is not the real strength that we have. Our strength is much stronger than what we have shown this time. This is for some other purpose. They can come up with that kind of theory.
The same kind of vote pattern have happened in Panagaram constituency also. Jayalalitha, that ADMK came third. The DMK won the election. PMK got second place. So this is not the first time in the election history. So the working style and manufacture and the candidature value, these are all combined.
But do you mean to say at the time did ADMK help PMK?
No.
In Penang?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, now,
this is also, there is no any proof.
In
this constituency, DMK has some underground.
Yes.
Just assuming.
Yes.
Because we noticed that the DMK cadres didn't work with full interest.
Yes.
No complete involvement.
But could it also have been because the DMK fielded a relatively weaker candidate, not a very heavy weight candidate? That could also be one of the reasons.
Yeah, one of the reasons. That is very important.
The other thing is, now that you say that there could be a consolidation of the ADMK under Dinakaran's leadership in the future, certainly this by-election results opens up the possibility for that. That would mean that the ADMK would not be as weak as it was after Jayalalitha's death. Because after Jayalalitha's death, people, every actor wanted to come into politics. Mr. Kamal Haasan wants to start his own party. Now, Mr. Thol Thirumavalavan says that Mr. Rajinikanth would also possibly come up with his political plans for the year. So this result in the possible consolidation of the ADMK under Dinakaran in the future.
Definitely.
Would that impact the political plans of these film stars?
Definitely. Among the ADMK, the Dinakaran leadership will consolidate the ADMK. Many MLAs and MPs and frontline leaders will come together with the TT Dinakaran. It will happen. If he enters into the assembly, he will play important role and very important issues he will raise. So he will establish his leadership in future. So this will not affect the ADMK vote bank. After the demise of Jayalalitha, no single party man, ADMK, went away from the party. Some frontline leaders gone anywhere, some political parties like BJP. But the downtrodden level, the base level, grassroots level, no party workers go away.
Yes.
Not go away. So this is the real position of the ADMK party. So definitely TT Dinakaran will play and will establish his leadership and capture the party. This will happen, I assume.
Yeah. So what happens
to the film stars will? I don't believe that Rajinikanth and Kamal Haasan will form a political party immediately after these situations. Definitely, they will think over it and decide later.
Okay. So that means that there is no scope for a third time. We are going to see Dravidian rule in Tamil Nadu for a long time to come. So is it going to be again the DMK and ADMK?
Sure. And it will continue.
Yes, it will continue. The DMK and ADMK, they are going to be the principal political forces.
BJP and other some forces still trying to smash the ADMK. If ADMK is smashed, it is easy for entering into the politics. They think like that. But this election result revealed that this is not possible.
Okay, so on that note, I think it's very clear from what our co-panelists said that Tamil Nadu is going to witness DMK versus ADMK rule, something that has been the case from 1967 onwards, and there's very limited scope of third player emerging. We'd like to end this debate, and I want to thank Mr. Thirumavalavan for sparing his time and joining us in this debate. And thank you, Ramakrishnan as well. Thank you for all of you for watching this program. Thank you very much.